I just saw a post that was posted by Priscilla Shirer, who is a well-known pastor, preacher, speaker, and the post was "Rest in peace, R.I.P. Mandisa." And I want to say I'm not familiar with Mandisa and who she is, but I went to her page because Priscilla Shirer tagged her page in the post, the R.I.P. post, and it looks like she was a gospel singer, but she was on American Idol. She was an encourager. She was a um, woman of faith. But it looks like when I'm scrolling down her timeline, it looks like she struggled with things like anxiety and depression, because a lot of her posts are surrounding that. And then she also wrote a book that was titled Out of the Darkness. And so when I saw the post that said R.I.P. Mandisa, my heart instantly dropped and sank, because I got this weird feeling that her passing or transitioning wasn't of natural causes. And I got that feeling before I went to her page. So then when I went to her page, I was just like, OMG, God, I really hope that, she didn't take her own life because of the struggle, with her depression and anxiety. And it just it really made me sad, because so many people are just struggling with life in general. But the conversation that I want to have is not about the people that's struggling, but the people that pretend to act like they don't notice, or the people who are so self-consumed in their own lives that they don't take the time to check up on people, especially your strong friends or your strong family members, because those are the ones who usually always go through it the worst. It's always the strong people that are viewed as being really strong. But I feel like those people have breaking points too, and I just think that I don't even really know. I don't even know that I really have the words to really articulate what it is I'm trying to say. I just wish that people just had a little bit more compassion. I see so many things out here in the world, and the lack of compassion, the lack of real unity, connection, real relational connection and togetherness amongst people, amongst family members. And it's just so disheartening, because I want to say, it's almost hard not to bring God into this, because we all come from God, and so many people who confess to be believers and confess to be God people or Christians, it's like they lack compassion. Those are the main ones who lack compassion, who lack grace, who lack the ability to really love. And I don't know if it's because people are going through their own thing, that they're just like, I'm all about self, or there really is a lack of understanding in what it really takes to really connect with another person. I don't know. It's really confusing to me. And I came up with this thing or ideology where people are okay with caring from a distance. And I just feel like that's just not right, because there's so many people that need other people to care up close. And this whole caring from a distance thing is just, it's not right. It's not of God. I don't think that is godly. I just really have a problem with it. And I'm not trying to call anybody out, but it's just mind-blowing. But I had a person that I honestly thought was, and this is going to call the person out, and I'm just asking for forgiveness up front, because the statement really bothered me, but it was also an eye-opener to, I feel like, the condition of people's heart and where people really are with themselves and with other people. So I had a person tell me that, so I was experiencing a situation, and I had expressed the situation that I was experiencing with a person who I thought was my friend. And when I told the person, it was just like, they were kind of like stoic, like no response, no like, are you okay? What can I do? Do you need anything? It was just like, okay. And that was it. Like, the person that I thought was my friend never checked up on me, never checked in. And I actually had a conversation to God about it. I was just like, that was weird, because I thought this person was my friend, and she really took the information that I gave her about something that I was struggling with or dealing with and didn't do anything with it. Now, a stranger, I could say, okay, that's fine. But a friend, I think that we have expectations of our friends to show care and concern and some level of compassion. And so anyway, I was just like, God, that was really weird. And because the person really acted like they did not care, like whatever. So this person actually came back to me and apologized. And what they said to me was that they didn't know, they're the kind of person that feels like they have to fix stuff, and they didn't know what to do, I guess, and I'm paraphrasing, but they knew that if they showed concern and tried to figure out a way to help me, it was going to mess up their perfect world. And because my world at the time wasn't perfect, it wasn't in alignment with where they are and what they had going on. And I was just kind of like, wow. And I actually told the person, I respect your honesty and I respect your level of maturity for even being able to communicate that. But in my heart, and I didn't say this part, but in my heart, I was like, yeah, that's not the kind of friend that I really want to have. And I respect the person, like, for sure. And I respect how people feel. But I feel like if you don't have friends that are there for you when you need them, and then if you're not the kind of friend that can be available for people when they need you, then is it really a friendship? I don't know. I don't really know. But oh my God, I'm just like, God, why are so many people struggling? And I think part of the answer to that is life is hard. Like, life is hard as it is, okay? It's not easy. I don't care how many affirmations you quote. I don't care how many scriptures you quote. I don't care how much you pray. That stuff doesn't, I would say, remove the level of difficulties that we encounter in our life. Life just happens. I think what it does is it kind of helps keep your mind in a certain mindset to stay positive, so that I think the whole purpose is to keep yourself at a level so you don't fall victim to being depressed or having anxiety, but I just feel like at a certain point, like, life just gets really heavy for people. And I know, because I've experienced the heaviness of life on so many occasions. And it's just, honestly, everybody's different, and what would make one person's situation better is different from what would make another person's situation better. But I just know that it makes it a little bit easier when you know that you have people, like sincere, genuine people who are available for you to lay your head on their shoulder when you need to. Or even though you know it's okay, and maybe you don't know it's okay, but it makes life a little bit sweeter when you have somebody saying to you, you know what, I got your back. I've got your back, and I'm here to listen, even if that's the only thing that you need. Because a lot of times it's just that people want to know that they have someone that cares about them. That's the thing. And so this is and I've never been a person to talk about how dark the world is, but I'm gonna start saying this is a dark world that we live in, and we unfortunately share the world with a lot of dark people who just don't care, and that's the reality of it. And I think the thing that's even more disheartening is that some people actually have people in their lives that they thought loved them and they thought cared about them, and then they find out that those people aren't solid either. So I'm just praying for everyone, including myself, who is going through a tough time and a rough time, because the struggle is real. Like, it's real, and people are like literally taking their lives. People are taking their lives. They're checking out of here. And it's just like, because they feel like all hope is lost. There is no hope for their situation. And I just like, I just don't want to believe that there is no hope for anyone's situation. But when you are going through stuff, sometimes you feel like that. Sometimes you feel like there is no hope because you don't see a way out. And even though the scripture says that God will go before us and make our crooked path straight, you know, God, that's what I'm praying, that every person that's experiencing darkness, sadness, anxiety, depression, heaviness, burden, God, I'm like begging and pleading on everyone's behalf that you would go before them and just make the way plain and make it straight. And somehow I pray that the spirit of heaviness is lifted. God, we need a miracle. That's essentially what I'm asking for. I am asking for a miracle for people who are experiencing the spirit of heaviness, the spirit of lowliness, brokenhearted people. I'm asking for a miracle, that the spirit of heaviness would be lifted from them, okay? That they would receive comfort some way. Let an angel show up in the middle of the night when they're sitting there thinking about taking their life. God, let some person, something, let something trigger, let someone show up, let something happen that prevents, that intercedes that act of taking their life. This is a lot. It's a lot. Because it's so many people, young and old, young and old, young and old. And it's just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just a spirit of selfishness. That's what I'm getting. There's a strong spirit of selfishness that's pervading and permeating people. And God didn't call us to be that way. It's just not right.